You know, when you tell me, it's not as much of a surprise.
Yeah, really. Barb, look, she made you a new bag.
Look at that.
Is that a new pattern?
Oh
No.
my God.
No, it's Trendsetter.
Thank you.
You're
Jesse.
welcome.
I
You
have
lied.
the best boss.
I
Look at
lied.
that. She made me
You
one of
lied.
these too.
Would you sit down?
That's perfect for you, Barb.
There's two of them there.
Oh, God, now you have one for weekdays and one for weekends.
There you go. One for summer, one for spring.
You kill
Here we
yourself
are.
With that
Here we
fabric,
are back.
with that cork.
Are we on?
We are
Yes, ma'am.
on.
Okay. All right.
Everybody's saying good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning,
Charlie.
We're all back
Heather,
together.
Cheryl.
It'll be different again next
Diana.
week, though. Still on
Yeah.
Friday. Still on Friday.
I
But
won't be here.
you won't be here. And then I don't know what we're doing the next Friday because it's the day after Thanksgiving, and I don't know what's happening.
Oh, that's right.
We'll figure it out. We'll let you know before then. Let's not get too far ahead of
We'll talk
ourselves.
turkey.
We'll talk turkey. You're funny.
Ay, ay, ay.
Yeah, so I didn't really have much of a topic planned for us today because so we're done. So we'll see you next Friday. No, I did not get a topic planned, but I've got some little things to tell you, and I found something that we might do today. Some questions.
Oh boy.
Oh, boy.
Oh boy. She's
I-
on her game show thing again.
No, not
Can we
like
use the buzzers?
that. Not like that.
Yeah, we never get to play with
Yeah,
the
we
buzzers.
never get the buzzers.
Yeah, that's why. Anyway, if you don't know what we're talking about, don't worry about it. It's really insignificant. So,
Sue Smith won't be here next week because she's going to be at the retreat.
that is right, yes. So Barb will be gone next Friday because she has a retreat, her own retreat, not mine. So it'll just be me and Marlene. So maybe we'll just talk about Barb?
We could talk about Barb.
All right, we'll just talk about
Then I
Barb.
have to leave early because then I got a bartending gig at 2 o'clock in Saratoga.
And then she's ditching me anyway. So
Yeah, look
who
at that.
knows? Who knows? And, you know, things change. Marlene might say on Friday, I don't want to come in. I don't know. Somebody will be here on Friday.
Come
We just
for a
don't know
little
who.
while. But I gotta go get another.
She's
job.
bartending. So, exciting news. Super exciting.
What?
I've been waiting for this and waiting for this
Decoville.
with no information. Decoville is back.
Yay!
Decoville is back. I did not realize how long it had been, and we were looking at our order history. It has been since July. So it has not been in since July. So here's the deal. I'm telling you first, it's on the website, it's on Etsy. We got a lot of it because I didn't know if or when or what was going on. We got a lot. I have bolts reserved. I set them aside. I did not put everything online because some of you had emailed me and messaged me and asked me if you could buy an entire bolt. If you want one, send me an email. That's the best I can tell you right now. It's first come, first serve. If you just want to buy some yardage, it's on the website. It's also on Etsy. Nobody from Etsy ever watches this, so I don't know why I mention it, but here I am. But it's on there. So we got a lot, and we immediately put more on order because if we have to wait 4 months again, I'd rather just know that eventually it's coming. It's never usually that bad, but 4 months, you guys, I waited for this. I have boxes of Decoville. So
Well, now we know one container ship pulled in from California.
one,
There
yeah.
you go. There you go.
So
The
if you're
unloaded
interested, and this is Decoville Light, if you're not familiar, this is the 525, not the 526, which is the heavy. We don't sell that. If you want it, it's on the website. If you want an entire bolt, send me an email. We can talk about it. Don't bother asking here because it's just easier if you send me an email. So Decoville is back. Also, like literally 2 minutes ago, before I sat down, I got a notification. Tula Pink Daydreamer has shipped. So I didn't track it because usually once they send the shipping, it's not in the system yet. I would say probably by next week we will have Daydreamer. I did order the entire line, if I remember correctly. Which sometimes my brain doesn't work, but I'm like 99% sure I ordered the entire line. It didn't look like anything was not coming, so we will have Daydreamer. If I can get my act together, I will get it on the website before it comes in, and if you want to order it, then we'll have the orders waiting to go. Otherwise, if I don't get my act together, which is always hard to say, it'll be up there as soon as it gets in. So that is coming. Also, this morning, I uploaded a brand new video onto YouTube. I upload our Facebook videos every week, but when I don't do other stuff, it feels like it's been like forever. Like I feel like it's been like months. It hasn't, but it's just been, the past 2 weeks have been crazy, and I really haven't been here that much. So I finally got the Eevee video done, and I didn't grab an Eevee. I don't even know where the new one is. I have no idea. Oh, it's right behind me. Let me get that. So, and I did not put the kit up for this one yet, but I will do that after Facebook. So, gotta let my chair unswivel. So, this, I was a little stuck, yes. This video is up now. So the EV Messenger bag has the big zippered flap, pockets in the front, zippered pocket, open inside. Barb made one of these in class. This pattern, I think, came out this time last year. I really don't remember. I think it was a year ago. Pretty sure. Or December, something like that. But this one was also requested, so this one is up now. It's a full walkthrough, just like all of the other pattern videos. That one just uploaded like an hour ago. So, let's talk about where I've been, because I wasn't here.
Somebody wants to know how your sewing weekend was.
Well, that's what I was going to tell you. Thank you for asking. It was amazing. It was awesome. It was exactly what I needed. I highly recommend that all of you take time for yourself and do that, especially if you are like me and you go 100 miles an hour and you don't stop. Did I answer my emails? Yes. Did I answer text messages? Yes. But did I really get too involved in business? No, I did not. I think the most I did was log onto my laptop when Barb told me something had sold out, and I updated the listing, and that was about it because that was an important thing.
She did it like 10 times, didn't she?
Other than that, I stopped. I didn't do anything else. And yes, we have been selling out of a lot of stuff. We do still have a lot of cork, but we're selling out, but we are waiting. I finally got a notification. I'll go back to the sewing weekend in a second because this just popped in my head.
Finally?
I finally got a notification from vendor number 1. It has been over a month now. They were having an issue sourcing one of the inks that they needed for one of the pearls. So my order was held up. So like the forest green, what else was it? Springtime, some of those, I think maybe dream catchers. I don't remember. I order a lot of stuff. That order is shipping. That will hopefully be here next week. Black and textured natural just came in. I have to get those cut. And I have another big order pending of a lot of the prints to restock. Unfortunately, I just heard from vendor number 2 this morning. There's 3 of them. They're having issues with their printer and their ink. There's something going wrong there, and they're having some issues printing. So he is very, very frantic and waiting, and he updates me every single day to tell me what's going on, which is fantastic. So that's why we're out of stuff like dandelion, because they can't print it. So he's hoping that they can get it fixed on Monday, and we'll get more cork after that week or the week after. While we're talking about shipping and things like that, let me just say this, and then we'll talk about the sewing weekend. Please keep in mind, it is November 12th. You all know what's coming. First Thanksgiving, then crazy shopping season starts, then Christmas, Hanukkah, all that. Please understand, not a single one of us works for the post office or UPS or FedEx. We have no control over things. We cannot make things get to us faster, and we cannot make them get to you faster. The only thing that we can control is how fast we get them to the mailbox. And these two work very hard, and they work very quickly, and they get the orders out. I do some of them, they do most of them. We do the best job that we can. We are happy to help you in any way that we can, but when the post office, is a little delayed or a little behind, please do not yell at me. It really does not help, and it just hurts my feelings. I cannot make them go faster.
We all feel bad.
Well, you don't have to send me emails and tell me how horribly disappointed you are, because even when you are telling me this on behalf of your feelings towards the post office, I do take it personally. So when you send me an email with sad emojis and angry faces and the bad words and all the, I'm so upset, not at you, I still take it personally. Please just know there's only so much I can do. I'll get you your tracking number, but once it leaves, it's in God's hands. I can't help it, honestly. And at this point with the post office, you know what? They're doing the best they can. They have their moments just like everybody else. I literally had a package delivered from FedEx the other day in front of the overhead door. Now there is an overhead door that you can knock on. There's an office door, and there's a door connected to it. And I saw FedEx pull up, and I saw FedEx leave, and then I see a purple roll of cork sitting on the ground. Luckily, it wasn't pouring rain like it is right now. So that's what I'm in for with all of the temp drivers right now. If you don't have signs at your house or house numbers, work on that. That always helps. I have a huge sign on my door that says, do not leave packages in the front, because I have a box in the back. So just so you know, yelling at me will never help you. It will just hurt my feelings. And then they have to hear about it. So I'm just letting you know.
You know what's funny? These guys, lots of times they'll just throw it on your front porch.
Oh,
I
chuck
had a
it.
box delivered yesterday, and went to the trouble of getting on the porch, putting it behind a chair that's on the front porch. Like, really?
I give them credit for that though, because I think they know it's also that time of the year when people's fingers get oddly sticky and they decide to take things from your porch.
Yeah,
So I will
was
say,
just funny.
putting that sign up has made a huge difference, because I actually was home yesterday and saw Amazon come up and he went, oh, and he shook his head because he must have been training someone. He was like, come on. And they walked to the back because the sign says, do not leave packages on my front steps. So,
Oh, good.
yeah. So that's that. So let's go back to fun stuff, because I don't want to talk about the post office anymore. Sewing weekend. So I wore yoga pants all weekend. I didn't put a drop of makeup on. I barely brushed my hair. I didn't even care because it was just a bunch of friends. And it was just nice. We ate way too much food, because you always do. If you're ever sewing with friends, you're always just snacking. How many snacks did we have at the retreat?
geez.
And you can't stop yourself because they're right there. And you're like, oh, snacks.
Keep walking by it.
Yeah.
You just keep walking by
try
and you're
one.
like, oh, is it that good? Should I have one of those?
Yeah.
So I told you guys I did not go fully prepared, and that was, it was not my best idea, but I knew that going in. So I had an idea of what I wanted to do, but I didn't have anything cut out and ready to go. One place that tripped me up, I was still trying to work on my quilt. I'll show you, because it's not,
You got 2 rows
it's
up?
not much of a quilt. It's a table runner.
No,
See?
a bed runner.
It's a bed runner.
bed runner.
I had this all slated for Sunday. Sunday was going to be my relaxing quilt day. I cleaned up my area. I was ready to go. I didn't bring the background fabric. And I had another white on white. It was like a little creamier than this one, which could have worked had I not already had rows done. If I had just had blocks and was mixing them, I definitely could have mixed it in. So tip number 1, don't go unprepared, because I got home and there was the background fabric sitting right next to the cutting mat, not where I needed it, in my car. I did bring a bunch of cork to play with some things, because I had 2 new patterns that I wanted to play with. And here's how things go in my world. In my head, on the way there, I was focused on A. I need to work it out, fix the templates, get it going, get it ready for writing. I get there, and B is in my head going, me, you have to work on me. And so I was like, let me just do this real quick. I just need a size. It's something that doesn't need templates. I just need to get a size. Well, then I start playing. What are you making? What are you making? What's it going to be? And I'm like, well, excuse me. Let me just try it in fabric quick. No interfacing. Let me see how it works out. Oh, now I really want to make it. So then I made 3. I just couldn't stop. So I bumped the first project for the second project, and the pattern is almost there, and I'm hoping that we're going to be releasing it soon. Soon. I'm not giving you dates. And I don't show people before they're done publicly, like on here, for 2 reasons. Number 1, I am weirdly superstitious about things and don't like posting things and then not having them ready. I like to say, here's this, and here's the pattern in the video, and it's all done. The other reason is, I love you guys. I mean this from the bottom of my heart, but some of you can't let it go. And if I say, hey, look at this thing I'm working on, you're like, let me send her an email and ask her if it's done yet, over and over and over again, because you're so excited. And I appreciate the enthusiasm, but then I start sweating and getting nervous, and I can't do it. I can't. I have enough problems mentally. So I am not going to show you, but I'm going to tell you right now, I'm really excited. I'm really excited about both, but I'm really, really excited about the first one. So that's that. I did, because of Shannon, in our last virtual retreat, making a Trendsetter out of vinyl. I did make a Trendsetter out of all cork, and I played with a new zipper technique. It's not perfect yet, but when it is, I will make a video about it to get cleaner ends. And one end came out beautiful, and the other end's a little wonky, but that's okay. This was a Sunday project after I was mad that I didn't have background fabric. But look at all cork. I did take my HD9. So, of course, that machine will sew through anything. So before I give you all the ins and outs on this, I do want to, make sure that I'm giving everybody with a domestic machine a fair shot at making this all in cork. Because when I use the HD9, I don't pay attention, because I know it'll sew through the layers. I just keep on going. This pocket is pretty thick. I wouldn't recommend that for a domestic machine. But I think it came out really nice. And it just looks like a totally different bag all in cork. I have never ever made this bag in cork, ever.
That's really pretty.
And it's one of my older patterns that I kind of forget about. It's right over there. It stares at me every time I do a video. It's right there. And I just kind of forget about it. But I don't know. I like this bag. So Shannon, this is your fault, but that's okay. So that's what I worked on. That's what I can show you that I worked on.
I have a couple of questions.
Please give me questions.
Cindy would like to see the different style backpacks that you have.
I can do that. Okay.
I see one right here.
Hold on.
I see.
Let me grab this one because
That
that one
one?
doesn't have handles on it. I don't know where they are. Oh, I was like, this one doesn't either. And
That one.
I'm not going to show you that one because I'll tell you why. So,
Okay.
well, technically I have 3, but one of them was one of the magazine projects. And because we don't have magazines left,
Oh.
me showing you that is just kind of cruel.
frustrating.
So when I get a video done on that bag, we'll talk about it again. But I have Everly. Everly is a convertible backpack. So Everly is very simple, but has a lot of hardware because you can hook these straps up here on these D-rings and make it into a crossbody bag or wear it as a backpack. Barb has made more of these than I have, and that's not a joke. This is her go-to bag when she makes stuff for Northcott. Is it just for Northcott?
Yeah.
For Banyan.
Banyan boutiques, yeah.
She's made a lot of these. They've been floating around the internet. You'll see a lot of them in different boutique
bicycle
fabrics,
ones.
out of a lot of bicycle fabrics. This seems to be the go-to. This is also the Janome go-to.
Is it really?
Because there was a bunch of these also in the Janome and Elna booth. I don't know. People just gravitate towards it. It is a really easy bag. You can do cork, a little cork on the bottom. Has a twist lock. It has a zipper under here. Oh, good. It does have a zipper. Sometimes I forget to put them in. And that was always fun at shows. And someone would go, does this have any pockets? And I'm like, yeah, but not this one. But technically there's one here. And then it's open inside. And it's a nice size if you have like preteens. You know, if you have that like 10, 11, 12-year-old that's like, I want a cool bag like mom. But, you know, a big backpack is not as trendy and a purse isn't going to work. You know, she can have something kind of cute. So that's Everly. And this is Laney, which is not convertible. Laney is just a regular backpack. And the Laney corners are just like the Liana bowler bag corners. I'm just letting you know, because some of you send me hate mail about those corners. I don't know what to tell you. And it's open. Inside there's pockets. It's hard to see them because they're the same fabric. I carried one of these around for a long time. And I got so used to not having to pick up a purse, to always having it on my back, that now I don't want shoulder bags anymore. I like crossbody bags or backpacks because I got so used to it. I had taken this the last time we vended in Texas, so it was nice because I'd be carrying all the stuff in for the show, and my bag was there, and I didn't have to worry about it. So that is Laney.
Okay.
Okay, next.
Shannon wants to know if there's still room in the December virtual retreat.
3 openings. There's 3 openings left. I just looked this morning because I couldn't remember myself.
There you go.
So yes, there are 3 little openings.
3 little.
3 little openings, and I will be sending out goodie bags probably next week, the week before Thanksgiving. If not, the earliest or the latest would be the week of Thanksgiving. But goodie bags will be going out. So if you're signing up, sign up now.
Next question.
Yes.
Sue Smith wants to know if there's a waiting list for January in person. I don't think so, is there?
I don't think we've started one, but Sue, send me an email
Yeah.
and I'll put you on our waiting list for sure. So that's not a problem at all. And if you're bringing anybody else, or if there's multiple people, just
Yeah,
tell
let
me
us
just so
know.
I can,
Yeah.
get you on the list. I know you usually travel in a pack. And
Like a
you know,
wolf.
like a wolf pack,
Wolf
a
pack.
she-wolf pack.
They're my wolf
so
pack.
There
you go.
So send me an email. Tell me
I'm your wolf
tell me how many spots you're looking for, and if you're looking for day tripper or non-tripper. What do you call them? Stayovers? I don't know.
Weekenders.
Weekenders.
Sounds good,
They're,
huh?
Whatever. If welcome to Facebook. If this is your first one, you're in for a treat. Any other questions? Are we good?
Oh.
Are there any
Wake
questions?
up and smell
Yes.
coffee, Barb.
A little foggy here.
That Dayquil's getting to you.
Yeah. We're gonna let Barb reboot. Unplug her and plug her back in.
If I could. Believe me.
Okay.
More than you know.
Oh, Cindy, what state are we in? We're in New York.
New York. It's horribly rainy, but this is what makes me sad.
New York.
It is 55 degrees.
Yeah.
It is November 12th, which we do have Novembers like this sometimes. But seriously, it is pouring rain out. Like this is the 55 in November. I want to go outside. It's pouring.
And
pouring.
I had a memory on the thing that was 2 or 3 years ago. It was snowing today.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. That is the joy of New York, is that middle of November, it can be warm, no jackets, or it can be snowing.
Were we up in Brant Lake and it was snowing? It was in November. Remember there was snow
could
up
have been.
there?
We've gotten snow in October,
I don't remember much from that. I was just,
which I think should be
I was
illegal.
sick.
I think that should be illegal. October's too early for snow.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I feel like December to the end of December is fine. Like, I
January's
think
good
that's
enough.
fine. January should start getting warm. It's a new year, new weather.
There you go.
Any other questions?
Not right now.
All right. So I found something, and I didn't really look that closely, so this is kind of a surprise for me too. It was on allpeoplequilt.com, and they were calling it So Thankful, and they have, it looks like 14 questions about like how you got into sewing. I did not look at these. I only looked at the first one. So I thought we would answer them. It would be kind of fun. All right.
Okay.
So they had no idea I was doing this. So
So Lord
wanna
knows
use
what
the
our answers are
buzzer.
going to be.
I don't have the buzzers.
Okay, anyways,
I'm
go
sorry.
ahead.
Just say buzz. Okay. The first question, and you guys can answer this too, and maybe I'll post some in the group and we can, we can talk and get to know each other.
Oh, can I ask a question first?
Yes, please.
I think Cindy wants to know what the virtual retreat is like. She says visual, but I think she means virtual retreat.
So the virtual retreat, I send out a Zoom link. You can log in whenever you want. I have set times that I am available, but you can come and go as you please. You can come for 2 days instead of 3. It's up to you. It's totally just like an in-person retreat. You can come and go whenever you want to. Barb and Marlene and I set up across the hall at the tables. We bring our machines in and we sew. And I have my laptop in front of me so I can see all of you. And Barb usually has her iPad, like for her and Marlene, so we can talk. We end up getting into the most random conversations, sometimes sewing related, sometimes not. All sorts of things. If you have a question, you can ask me. Just keep in mind, the virtual retreat is not a class. It is not a hands-on, one-on-one. I am not there to answer every single question from start to finish on a pattern. If you want, you work on your own. You do not have to work on my patterns. Obviously, if you do, I can answer you better. If you're working on a quilt or somebody else's bag, that's fine. You can do whatever you want. It's just a way to not be alone, to kind of sew with people. Sometimes Barb and Marlene work on bags. Sometimes they work on quilts. Marlene was knitting at one. It's just a way to hang out together. If you're working on a pattern and you're like, hey, can I ask you a question or can I ask opinions of colors? We're there. Just keep in mind, it's not a formal class. I'm not like, hey guys, at 10 o'clock, we're going to start making this bag. And in all fairness to everybody, I can't work step by step through one pattern with one person. You have to be fair to everyone. So just like in a regular retreat, and Barb can tell you this, and so can Marlene, they've been to a lot. If you have a question, ask it, but it's not a hands-on where we're giving you a full tutorial. I might show you how to do something, and usually if you have a question, someone else wants to see it too, so people will kind of, watch on the video. A lot of people sit muted and just kind of listen and watch. You don't have to be super familiar with Zoom. You just have to know how to get into Zoom and have a login. So don't worry if you don't really know how to navigate Zoom. That's not for you, it's for me. So we just sit and we sew, and then when the time is up, I go home and log off, and if you want to keep sewing at home, you do whatever you want to do. They don't usually stay for the full entire day, and usually Sundays I'm by myself, just because Sunday's a short day and it's kind of senseless for them to drive an hour to come down. But we just all hang out and talk and laugh, and
Giveaways.
And we do giveaways.
That's right.
We do giveaways.
I love to give away just the stuff.
Yes, so I pull a pile of stuff and I put names in a bin, and we don't. It's not really organized. They'll just go, "Do you want to do a giveaway?"
Yeah.
Okay, sure. So during the day, we'll just pick names. You get a discount that you get to use from the time you get your goodie bag through the weekend. So if you want to order something, we'll send your giveaway, whatever you won with it, and you get a discount coupon to use one time for one order afterwards. It's usually like a few weeks or towards the end of that month. And you get a goodie bag. And I think the goodie bags are pretty good. I'm just saying.
Awesome.
So, even if you decide you don't like me when the weekend's over, you still got a really cool goodie bag and a discount.
Goodie bag.
So, but it's fun. It's lots of fun. We do have kind of a core group that seems to keep coming back that's done every retreat or almost every retreat. But do not take that to mean something bad. I know we've dealt with it personally where you get that core group and they're clicky. We're not like that.
No.
We do whatever we want. We welcome everybody and anybody, and we're there to have fun. We talk about our dogs. We introduce our dogs sometimes. Mine are not here, but yours are. But it's fun. So if you have any other questions, you can always email me and ask me. But it's December 4th, 5th, and 6th, I think. It's the first weekend of December, the weekend following Thanksgiving, not Black Friday, the next one. So I think it's the 4th, 5th, and 6th. Marlene's going to tell you for sure. But there's 3 spots left. So I limit it.
Is it the 3rd, 4th, and 5th?
The 3rd, 4th, and 5th. I was
Friday,
close.
Saturday.
I was
Go
close.
to the knee doctor that day. I gotta go to the ortho doctor.
All right. So you want to do some fun questions?
Let's do some
Okay.
fun questions.
Let's do some fun questions. So the person who taught me to sew. Well, that for me is easy. That was my grandmother. She taught me to sew when I was a kid. I taught myself how to quilt and make bags. That was completely on me. I'm completely self-taught in that area, but my grandmother taught me how to use a sewing machine and how to make dresses, and I made a lot of clothing when I was younger. So that's who taught me how to sew.
Okay. My mother taught me to sew, but then I learned more techniques in home ec.
Oh,
And
yeah,
then
that too.
my kids were young, I didn't, except for making Halloween costumes, I didn't really sew. But then after they were like in high school and college, I started learning to quilt and
Nice.
do that.
All right, the buzzers are getting put away after this. And this is why they're not allowed to have the buzzers. Yes.
Okay. I learned to sew with my mother and my neighbors, my friend and her mother.
Cheryl or a different neighbor?
Oh no, my neighbor when I was a kid.
Oh, okay.
When I was in grammar school. Yeah, we went to the Singer Sewing Center and took lessons there too. Oh yes. We made clothes back then.
Yes.
I made clothes for my 20s. Then I did nothing really. I did crafty stuff, but then my daughter-in-law got me sewing again in maybe 10 years ago, 9 or 10 years ago, and she got me quilting, and then it turned into
An obsession. And
then
now
I
a
got
business.
long-arming, and then I got 2 arms, and then it's just gotten out of control. And I make bags once in a while.
Once in a while. Barb used to make a lot more bags.
Yeah.
This is funny. It just says my sewing space. So it's not a question. It just says my sewing space. I don't know if I'm supposed to fill in the blank or not.
Oh.
My sewing space is disorganized. It's all over the place. It exists in multiple places. This technically is a sewing space because I have sewn here and cut here. I sew out there in the video studio. I sew at home, and I also take my stuff and sew elsewhere. So my sewing space is everywhere. And it's a mess. Marlene.
My sewing space has moved from room to room in my house because my daughter's in this room, and then she moved here, and then I got this there. So I moved everything back into my son's room and made that my sewing space. But pretty much that's it.
Do you feel like you're settled now? Are
No,
you? No.
because it's messy. It needs to be organized.
Yeah.
It
Oh,
really
yes.
does.
Yes.
She's got such a stash.
And
I have no stash.
your sewing space,
My living room and dining room.
because you also run your business out of your sewing
Yeah,
space.
with 2 long arms, and there's 2 sewing machines, and there's shelving, and it's too small.
I feel like unless you are super lucky, is there anyone watching that's like, my sewing space is perfect because it's exactly what I want? I feel like there's always room for improvement.
I would like
So,
more space now.
I would like
'cause
my old room
daughter-in-law's
back.
there too. So
Yes.
there's
You need to
2 of
buy a
us.
bigger house.
just
Yeah.
for a sewing space.
Yeah.
I used to have a room upstairs in our house. I do miss that very much. But the one thing I do like about sewing in the living room when I sew at home is that I'm not alone. You know, sometimes I want to be left alone, but I'm there, the TV's there,
Right.
the dogs are there.
Right.
So when I was upstairs, I always kind of felt lonely sometimes at nighttime. I'm like, well, it's dark and no one's
Yeah,
around.
yeah.
It's kind of sad. Okay. A goal I've reached in my quilting.
Debbie, you got the answer.
oh.
My house is my sewing space.
Your whole house.
I agree, Deb. I agree.
Absolutely. I mean, I have 2 offices, a video studio, and a house, and I still don't have enough room. So I guess wherever I go is my sewing space.
Yeah.
It's currently in the back of my car because I haven't unpacked from the weekend. So, you know. A goal I've reached in my quilting life. I'm gonna take quilting out and just replace it with sewing. And my goal was always to have a business based around, you know, what I did in sewing. And so I think that's the goal that I reached, I would say, for me. Small things, if it's a small goal, probably just every time I figure out how to do something that doesn't need a drop-in lining or a binding. Those are my little goals. I don't really have any quilting goals that I can think of that I've reached. Do you have any quilting goals or goal that you've reached in your quilting life or sewing life?
Yes, to the fact that I have donate. Well, I do this with my knitting too. Is that I donate to my community, to fundraisers and my knitting things I bring to the church. The baby blankets they collect for the birthright. That's awesome. Yeah, I feel like I like helping other people and doing that.
That's a good goal. That's a really good goal.
I try to be nice, not to Barb, but to most people.
I
She's not
understand.
nice to many people. Not at all. Don't let her kid you.
What quilting
Don't
or
let her
sewing
kid you.
goal
She
did
thinks
you
that's gonna
reach?
redeem her. You know? That's her redemption.
I'm telling you, these two should move in together and just get one giant room that's a sewing room with
Well,
just two
our
separate
goal
spots
that's-
where they can get away from each other.
That's the goal, is to have like a big house, but we each have a wing, but on an island.
But on an
On
island.
an island.
Yeah, or somewhere warm.
Do you have a quilting goal that you've reached or a sewing goal?
It's like I'll meet you in the middle, Barb. We can have coffee, then you go
Right,
away
and then
and I'll go
we
back.
go our separate ways.
I donate to different things too, and I'll do some quilting for charity and stuff. But I don't know, making stuff. Finding
That's
time to
a
make my
hard
own
one.
things, yeah.
It's finding time to make your own stuff is
Yeah.
that is a goal that is hard to reach. And if you have a business, you know that.
Yeah.
So your answer is kind of tied into this one. It says a quilting charity that I support or admire. I support outside of quilting charities. I don't really have any that I directly support. Like I've done stuff for the Alzheimer's Association, you guys know, and the animal shelter. But as far as like a quilting charity that I admire, that million pillowcase challenge that Better Homes and Gardens does,
Yeah.
I think that is awesome. And if you're not familiar with that, if you ever get any of the Better Homes and Gardens magazines, their regular quilting magazine, they have the shop magazine, they have the one that I was in a few years ago, the Quilts and More. There's always a one page in there that talks
Yeah.
about the pillowcases, and they take donations constantly. So if you make pillowcases and don't know what to do with them, they take them and give them to people that need them, because it's always nice to have something homemade when things are not going in your favor. So I think I admire that. I think it's been going on for years,
Yeah.
and I
We've
can't wait to
donated
hear them.
quilts for kids too.
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
locally. Yeah.
I can't wait to hear them finally say we hit 1 million. I think that'll be
Oh,
awesome.
yeah.
Can I
So,
say,
yeah.
with Christmas coming, and my community has I was telling Barb, a giving tree. So I went in the other day and I picked out a couple of kids to buy for. And I picked out a boy who's 9 years old. You know what he asked for?
Oh, is this
A comforter.
Oh,
He didn't
That
ask for
breaks
any
your
electronics.
heart.
He didn't
Yeah.
ask for any toys. He asked for
comforter.
a comforter. So I
Yeah.
guess he
Oh.
wanted his favorite colors are red, black, and gold. So yesterday I went and I did find a red and black comforter. So I got it for him.
that's heartbreaking. That's so sad to
9
think that
years
that's
old,
what,
yes, that's
Yeah.
what he's asking
because he's probably
for.
never had his own.
Yeah.
That's very sad.
You should have whipped one up for him. Made him a quilt.
I'm sure it crossed your mind, didn't it? You were probably like, should I?
My daughter asked me if I was going to, but it's time is tight now. It gets tight. You have to have those in by December 7th and stuff.
This is going to be a fun one because you guys are probably going to name people that I don't know because of your long arming and stuff. A designer who inspires me. I am very inspired by like a lot of the fabric designers. Like, you know that I love Tula Pink, and it's not just because I like her fabrics. I'm very inspired by how she just has so many ideas and keeps producing and producing, and it's unbelievable to me. And to see how she can take a pencil and a piece of graph paper and turn it into this story told on fabric, I find it very, very inspiring. Also, some of these other bag designers, like I told you, I'm blown away and sometimes think, why didn't I think of that? Like, that's a cool design. So I'm definitely inspired by a lot of the designers in our community. Those are, you know, like by Annie, she's such a sweet woman, and I look at, she does all these organizers and these cool things, and she's always got like a new idea. So they're very inspiring to me. That would be mine. Yours are probably gonna be some long arm or something I don't know anything about. Someone. What designer inspires you?
You.
Me?
Yeah, because you make all these beautiful things, and every time you come up with something new, I'm like in awe, going, "Oh my God, how does she do this? How does she do this?"
I did not ask her to say that.
No, you
I
did- you
100%
And
promise
I'll
I did
second
not.
that.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Honestly, really.
really, because
I mean, I've got others, but you're
blow
a
us
big
away
one.
with the.
Well, give us someone else. Throw another one in
Number
there.
one is Jessica.
And number two would be Karen Gibbs, because we
Karen
love the
Gibbs.
boutiques.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
And-
And Karen, if you don't know, Karen was a long armor and a pattern
Right.
designer that we knew from
Local.
here, and now she's moved,
Right.
but still is in the industry. And she's the person that helped me get my new boutique line. She runs Banyan Boutiques, which is a part of
Correct.
Northcott. So,
Correct.
just in case you didn't know who that was.
That, and then also Pat Sloan, which I find very
Pat
interesting
Sloan.
because she's like very prolific with doing her. She's constantly doing something, constantly.
Isn't she almost every
morning-
day?
Every morning she's on Facebook.
That's crazy.
She does a Facebook Live every morning except Sundays. It's usually between 15 minutes and a half hour.
That's
She
still a
does
lot
it.
of
Oh, yeah,
content.
yeah.
That's a
Oh,
lot.
sure it is. I've noticed that she's starting to edit things and put them together now, which is great.
I don't blame her.
Yeah, and for long arming, like Karen Marchetti out of
I knew you were going to
Florida.
say Karen Marchetti.
Yeah, Jamie Wallen, he's in Indiana or Illinois, I forget which one. Both of them are really great.
Yeah. I've seen their work. I am familiar with them, surprisingly.
Yeah.
Something quilty I'm looking forward to. Well, that's easy. The retreats.
Retreats.
Duh. Our virtual retreat and our in-person. Listen, I'll be honest with you. A few months ago when we were planning these and we were getting into it and they didn't, immediately sell out, and I wasn't sure because March was far away. It's not so far away now. I was like, oh, I hope these are going to work. I don't know. Maybe the dates don't work. Maybe it's not going to happen. The fact that October was full, January is completely full, and we have people asking for a waiting list, and March is limited on spots. And virtual retreat, we have 3 spots left. I'm so
Yeah.
excited. So those are what I'm looking forward to.
Here's my little quilty. Dwight the deer. He's
Oh.
going to be a big pillow. He's a 24-inch
Do you see
pillow.
that? Oh my, that is so cute.
I just
Dwight
quilted
the
him
deer.
I quilted him last night, and I got to bought the pillow for him, so I got to make them.
Oh, your mom said you inspire her, and she said that we inspire her too for her long arming.
Aw,
Aw,
thanks,
thanks,
Mom. Let's see here. I hope you guys are enjoying this because I'm having fun. This is just kind of fun. And feel free to answer them, or if you don't want to watch us anymore, I understand. I just found this and I thought it was kind of fun.
Yes.
Let's see. Oh, a surprising opportunity that quilting brought me. I don't know if I would say it was, I guess surprising. Up until I started quilting, I didn't have any creative friends, and I'm sorry if any of my normal friends are watching. I'm sorry, guys, but my non-crafty friends. Growing up, none of my friends were into art and stuff like that. If they took an art class, that was about it. None of them really got deep into it. None of them made careers out of it. It wasn't a big deal. I went to art school. I went to college. That's where I meant, and took art class, and I did all this, and this is what I did. But even when I was in interior design, most of the people I worked with didn't really get into this kind of stuff, even wanting to do anything. So in starting quilting, and just to back up real quick, the reason I really got into quilting, I had thought about it and seen it for a long time and didn't understand much about it. I knew you cut up fabric and sew it back together. That was about the extent of it, which is what we do, but there's more to it. I started really getting into quilting because my grandmother was sick. And then my grandmother passed away as I started quilting, and I needed a distraction. And I had a really great guy in my life. He's still currently there. And who was like...
Would that be Eric?
It would be Eric. Who is like, do whatever you want to do. You want an entire bedroom to dedicate to crafts and hobbies, do whatever you want. But I needed that mental distraction because of losing my grandmother. So I got so into it, and then I ended up joining a guild and teaching and meeting people, and that was, I guess, surprising how many friends I made in the community. And now I have online friends, and I have like, you know, I think that was probably because I wanted it, but I guess I didn't expect it to this extent, you know, to know that 2 of my good friends now work for me, like, and like we met and we taught, you know, I taught classes in the guild. So I would say that's probably the surprising thing. And the fact that my sewing machine never collects dust because I use it so much. There were times, like you said, in between years where I didn't really sew because nothing inspired me.
Yeah.
I was done with clothing. I don't want to make curtains.
Yeah.
So my sewing machine was there. I was never going to get rid of it. But I wasn't touching it. And now it's like, it's kind of surprising that I still love it so much.
Your sewing machine was there. Now, how many do you have?
Like a lot. I'm not sure what the count is at right now, but there's a lot.
Yeah.
There's,
And she wants more.
of course I do. There's 2 that I use all the time. There's 2 others that I use sometimes. And there's 3 others that I haven't touched in a while. And I have a serger somewhere and an old singer. I have a lot. I don't want to talk about it. Yeah. So what is a surprising opportunity that quilting brought you?
That would be when Karen Gibbs asked us, Barb and I, to help her out at market.
Yeah.
First one we went to was in Minneapolis with her. Well, that I went to was
That
in
you went to,
Minneapolis, and then Houston.
Because you've never done market or gone to market before that.
I had gone the year before, or whatever
went
year
to
it was,
Pittsburgh,
Pittsburgh.
right, yeah.
Yes.
Karen and I went together.
Yeah.
And Shayna, my daughter-in-law, met us out there.
Yep.
And that
That's
was a
right.
great opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
Then we went to Houston.
It's fun to see the behind the scenes stuff
is.
when
Houston
you don't
twice,
know.
Twice, I think. And then
Yeah, I
went
think
a
so.
third
We went to
time.
Minneapolis, and
And I went a third time by myself as a long armor.
yep.
Yeah.
Well, this is an easy one. I mean, there's 2, but this is an easy one for me. A local quilt shop that I love, Log Cabin. You all know that.
goodness.
And who else? Adirondack. I would say those are probably your 2 as well.
Exactly.
Yep. So, those are my top shops. I was at Log Cabin yesterday because I'm there every Thursday, and we were looking at projects in the works, and I only had this to
Yeah, I
bring
saw.
because I couldn't show them the other things
And
I was
when
working
did you
on.
guys decide to do that? Was it a year ago?
This,
Yeah, wasn't it a year ago?
it's been in progress. I am savoring
A year
it.
ago.
You
I
shush.
remember you
It has
talking
not been a
about it.
full year. Maybe it has, but whatever. Let's see. Oh, okay. A handmade gift from a friend or family member. I do still have a blanket, a knitted blanket that my grandmother made me. It's all purples. I will never get rid of it because my grandma made it for me. But I also, last year when I did the handmade swap, I got some really awesome items from my swap partner. So that was very cool. And just recently, Sue Smith made me a bunch of stuff, including my little zipper pull doodad and a wallet that I'm still carrying. So, you know, as much as a long time ago I would say no one ever makes me anything, recently people have made me lots of things.
There you go.
Well, my grandmother always used to make me stuff, but she's not here to do that anymore. So after that, I got nothing. So, so I have some cool handmade gifts from friends.
I have some cool handmade gifts from my kids when they were little, when they were making the clay things
Oh, gosh,
and their
yeah, me too.
handprint things, and I've got them, I've got them
I've got
all.
some of the wonkiest mugs
Yeah.
you'll ever see. That Sean says, I did that. That was beautiful. I'm like, it doesn't
Yeah.
even sit flat on the table.
I
That's
love
okay.
that you still have them, though. You know, I
It
think
reminds
that's
me of
awesome.
something out of the Flintstone era.
My mom has a hutch in her dining room with a bunch of stuff in there, and my sister and I were looking when she was home last time and pulling things out. My sister was like, "Did you make this?" I'm like, "Did you make this?" You know, some of the ugliest things ever, but we were just having fun because. I don't know about like you guys and your kid, but I forget. And I'm like, I know I made that, but like the memory of it is gone. And I look and I'm like, did I make that? Like, it's weird. It's weird how your brain doesn't hold on to all that.
Yep.
But I know that it was mine. I know I did it. I
Yeah.
just can't remember doing it.
Oh, your mother says she's got handprints from when you were little.
I need to see them. Break them out at
framed
Thanksgiving,
on
Hope.
on my bedroom wall. They're so little tiny handprints. from
I have big
nursery
hands. I
school.
think they were just as big then. Let's see here. The way sewing makes me feel. Well, that all depends.
Yeah. Oh, you're back on.
Am I back?
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. This weather is horrible. So if I lost you,
Yeah.
we're back.
Looks like maybe for a couple minutes.
Yeah. It's raining terribly. At least today is not an important demo kind of a day.
We have a lakefront office today.
We do have a lakefront property right at the moment. The way sewing makes me feel, it makes me feel relaxed and calm, and it's therapeutic unless I have a seam ripper in my hand and then I say a lot of swear words. But for the most part, it makes me happy. It makes me content because I'm doing what I want to do and I feel accomplished. You know, like you're doing something and you can show it off when you're done. So that's how I feel.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some
Except
days
when
are
I have to
frustrating, you know.
undo.
Yeah. Some days are frustrating, but when something
get
is
frustrated
done
too
and I
easy.
like it. What?
You get frustrated too easy.
Me?
Yes,
You think?
Barb's
I know.
Barb's having a frustrating moment right now, so I
Dealing
know
with
about
me.
that.
Yes,
No, not that.
We're like the polar opposites. She gets frustrated with everything, and I get
Stop.
frustrated over anything.
Let's
right?
see.
Right.
Okay. A tool I can't live without.
Oh dear.
Honestly, the one thing that I cannot even sit down and sew without, and it's not a basic thing like thread machine, is that 4-in-1 tool. I cannot sit down without that because if I need to point, if I need to like make a curve or I need a stiletto or a seam ripper, I need that nearby. And when it's not nearby, I feel stressed. Like I need to have that ready to go when it's
hands
sewing
reach.
time. Yes, it needs to be right there, ready to go. That and coffee. It must be coffee.
Me, it's scissors and a seam ripper.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm thinking of my sewing here. Yeah, and pins.
I don't know, but I know what I've come to love is the Diva screwdriver because it's even on my sewing machine and
It's a good size. It's a really
It
good
is.
size. And more recently, since I've been using my HD9 so much, I can't live without those compensating feet.
Really?
I am obsessed with them. The metal ones and the Teflon ones, obsessed. Like if you took them away from me, I wouldn't want to use the machine because I switch them out constantly. So I love those. So there's lots of things that I can't live without, but definitely that 4-in-1 tool, I will stress out if it's not near me because I need it. A quilting friend or community that brings me joy. You guys, this is my community, 100%. They bring me joy when they're not arguing with each other. But
Here we are.
this is our community.
cold.
I like to share.
Yeah, I know you do.
You guys on Facebook and YouTube, you bring me joy because you sit and watch us ramble on for an hour every week about nothing.
Bring us
and
all joy.
You say nice things and you support us and you are happy that we're here. So, and most of you don't yell at me, so that's good. So I would say definitely Facebook. A creation that beautifies my home. Yeah, I really can't answer that because my home is not beautified at the moment. It will be when Christmas decorations go up. That makes me happy. But most of that I did not make. Some other people that I know made some of the things, but most of my stuff is not me. Oh wait, no, I made a wreath. I do have a Christmas wreath that I made. That makes me happy.
That's good.
For the most part, though, my home is not creative and it's not beautiful. So
not either.
that's a hard one. Do you quilt or wall hangings or anything up that you've made?
I
Yeah.
have my snowman wall hanging up. He's up year
Still,
round.
I took mine down finally and put owls up. I have owls.
ugly
that are
owls.
they're not ugly. They're
They
cute.
got googly eyes. They're ugly.
All day long. Do you have quilts up, like wall hangings?
Upstairs, Shayna has one in their den. She's got one in their bedroom.
I'll be putting my Santa Claus one up soon.
Yeah, there's one in the family room. There's one in the kitchen, small wall hanging. Yeah, there's a few up.
Yeah.
And then I've got one stuck to the design wall in the living room. I mean, it's done, but it's just stuck on the wall.
It's just hanging out.
It's just hanging out, yeah.
So the last question is, I don't even know if these are really questions. It's whatever. Is a lesson that quilting taught me.
Oh, Lord.
Well, I am very type A and very anal, and in making handmade things, it has taught me that I can't always be perfect, and I need to learn to get past that, for sure. It's taught me to try my best, to put out the best work that I can, but to understand that sometimes it's not going to be perfect, and I have to learn to relax. And you can ask my mother, who will probably chime in any second now. I am extremely high-strung and impatient, and I don't know how to relax. I'm very like, "Nyeh." I think that's why I have chihuahuas, because I understand them, because they're always like, ah! So I am basically like a chihuahua that's just constantly like, I can't. So sewing has definitely taught me to chill out a little bit, and sometimes I gotta slow down, and sometimes I'm not saying it's gonna fix me because that's not gonna happen, but it's definitely taught me to relax a little bit. So what lesson have you learned from sewing?
Read the directions.
That is a good one.
Reread the directions.
And then read them one more time just for good measure.
And have them there all the time to refer to.
That is a real that is a lesson for everybody.
Unlike Barb, who like maybe skims and doesn't.
Barb is a skimmer.
I have a hard time with your patterns unless I'm with you. Because
any
of that.
pattern.
Because she skims and
And
makes
they-
assumptions,
Yeah,
and you know
I
what they
do,
say about
and
making
makes
assumptions.
an ass out of me and you.
So what lesson have you learned
To read-
to read the directions?
You still don't.
But she's learning that lesson.
I
She is
don't
learning
know,
that lesson.
Patience, and you know what? Not to be critical
You
of
have
other people.
patience.
That is very true.
Especially as a long armor, I've heard people have been told that, oh, your piecing isn't the greatest. I don't know if I can do that. They're like, really? Are you kidding? If
Yeah,
you're doing
that
long
is-
arming as a business, you should be willing to do what people do because it makes them happy.
I think that's a great
and
lesson.
It makes you happy.
I think that's
So-
fantastic because we can tell ourselves to be
Yeah.
nicer to us, but sometimes we can be kind of mean and
Yeah,
critical towards other
exactly.
people, and
Yep.
sometimes you almost don't even realize it. And I mean, honestly, none of you, and I'm not just saying this, I have never seen any of you do this. If you do it, I have not noticed it. Like in our group, we're always so kind and,
Yeah.
and you know, when someone's like, I made this and it's not perfect, and you're always chiming in going, it's amazing, it's great. You're always there to pat someone on the back. But I am in other groups. And I do see other people that say very harsh things,
Yeah,
and
they're too critical.
it's that just being honest. Well, there's a difference between honesty and being rude.
Yeah.
And some people don't know that boundary. So I think that's a really good lesson. I
Yeah.
think that's a lesson for all of us too. Because, you know, I mean, like you said, for a business, you guys get other people's quilts.
Yeah, right.
It would be so heartbreaking to hand you something and you to go, oh, this piecing is terrible. That would hurt my feelings, and I
Yeah.
wouldn't want to give you anything
No.
again. So, yeah. And owning a business has definitely taught me patience. Right now, I've waited over a month to find out what was going on with one cork order. Now I'm waiting on a printer to figure out what it's doing, and ink. You got to just be patient as much as it's hard. And my mother will tell you, I have literally no patience. I try
Well, it's
really
hard.
hard. I mean, they know too, but my mother has dealt with me a lot longer.
I know.
So, you know, and my mom will always say, you need to be patient. I know that's hard for you. I'm like, yes, it is. But it's definitely, I think I'm a little less tightly wound. Not by much, but I've relaxed a little bit. Not going to shows has definitely,
Oh, yeah.
because I
Yeah,
don't
you're not
have,
so-
there's a
yeah.
different kind of stress between deadlines and things that I put on myself or things that other people have asked me to do, and knowing that I have those deadlines and I'm in another state.
Yeah.
So there's definitely a difference. That has, sometimes you just got to cut stuff out that's not working, and realizing that now, you know, it's like being in a bad relationship and after you walk away you go, ooh, that was rough. Those shows were making me a little crazy. So, no, crazy. But,
Making
yeah.
us crazy too.
Yeah. They're making everybody around me crazy. So,
Yeah, Terry's got the perfect thing though.
Yes.
If you can't say something nice, don't say anything.
you know, that's a lesson that we all learned as a
Yep.
kid, but some people have seemed to have forgotten that. And I deal with it a lot. I deal with it a lot here. I deal with it in business. You know, I deal with it everywhere. And unfortunately, the internet has ruined people, I think. I think it's made it very hard. It's made it super easy for people to be critical, and it's made it for people like myself that put myself out there. I have to know that I'm gonna get criticized, and it sucks. I'm not gonna say it doesn't, because a lot of times I'm being criticized for no reason. If I sat here and made racial slurs and told horrible jokes, I would understand you being mean to me. I didn't think bag making would be that controversial. Like, it's, I made this bag. Oh, you know, I have something to say. I hate your sewing machine. Your hair is ugly. Like, what? Okay.
What were you thinking?
You know, like, why would you do that? That's a stupid thing. It's just a bag. Like, literally, I'm not talking about politics. Why are you mad at me?
Exactly.
But yeah, that's another lesson that I learned. And it's not that I didn't know it, but sometimes you learn it, and it hurts a little bit when people are just behind a screen being really, really nasty to you. So that's why I come back to you guys, because you're nice to me. And you tell me, don't worry about them. It's their loss.
Uh-oh, Shannon says you laugh too much.
We laugh way too much.
Yeah,
Which,
Yep.
how on earth is that still offensive? But it is. It is. We laugh too much and we all talk too much.
Well, I like what Shannon Adirondack said about us, that we remind her of the Johnny Carson show. You know, you're Johnny Carson, Barb said it again, and I'm the,
You know,
I'm the music director.
I mean,
there.
look at all the people. I'm not trying to compare myself, but like, look at like you got Jimmy Fallon who's running the show and he's got his band and he's got people and it's just fun. Does everybody want to watch that? No, but it's still a free country. There's the door. But you know, it's fine. It's fine because I'm gonna keep on doing this for the rest of eternity. And if you don't want to stick it out with me, that's okay.
Here's Jessica.
Tricia.
You know, I've realized, and I've said this before, and I will stick with it. I am not everyone's cup of tea. And for some people, I am a drink of bleach, and that's fine. It's totally, because it's true, and it's fine. And there are people, and I would never name names. I won't. But there are people, and some of you, maybe you, watch and enjoy on YouTube and Facebook and whatever. And for me, not my thing. I don't want to watch them. I don't feel excited, or I don't jive with them. I don't like their personality or whatever it is. And that's fine. My choice is to not watch them and not criticize them. But, you know, for some people, that's a hard thing to do. I will watch you, be angry about it, and then tell you that I don't like you. And I guess if that's how you want to live your life, I don't know, it must be rough in your house. I would rather be happy. I don't really like being angry. I get annoyed with myself when I'm in a bad mood because I don't want to deal with me, you know? Like, I just would rather be happy. So, I don't know. I'm not all the time, but I try. I try really hard. So that's it. So you learned absolutely nothing today. I hope that's okay. I don't know what Marlene and I are going to talk about next week. I have no idea. But I'm going to work on some new stuff. And I have missed my video studio, so I plan on being in there this weekend, doing what I don't know, but I plan on being in there. And I also have cork to cut. So I will be here most of the weekend. And again, I'm sorry if it is not great. It's the weather here. Whenever it rains, we get blurry and weird, but there was nothing to see today, so it's okay. So,
There you go.
you know, when there's a demo, that's a hard one, but there was nothing to see.
Can't control the weather.
I cannot control the weather.
We're lucky it wasn't snow.
You know what? You're absolutely
No,
right.
no,
You're absolutely right. 54 degrees.
Yes,
it's so nice
yeah.
out. But next week we'll at least have Daydreamer to show you because that should be here by next week, and we'll see what else happens. You never know what's going to happen.
You don't
So
know.
Decoville is in, Daydreamer is coming, and
Oh my God, they got snow in Minnesota.
oh
Blizzard
no.
out there
Yeah,
in some
Connie
parts.
just said.
Yeah, I'm sorry,
Read that
Connie.
on the news this morning.
I understand that this is where we live, but like even middle of November, before Thanksgiving makes me sad. After Thanksgiving, I'm like, okay, it's technically winter, kind of. I can deal with it. I also get really angry when it's March and it's snowing. I'm like, okay, enough. Like, enough. February is the cutoff. No more. But I will live here for the rest of my life and just keep complaining about it because that's what I do.
That's what we all do,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah, pretty much. Because no matter where I
snowing
move, there's going to
again.
be something. Oh my God, it's been so hot, you know?
Yeah,
Oh,
you go from one extreme to the other.
exactly.
Yeah.
So I'll just stay
It's so
here.
dark so early.
Yeah.
Cold is-
I'll just stay here where at least I know what's coming. So thank you for whatever this was. I missed you guys. We will see you next Friday, and then I will update you next week on our Thanksgiving schedule, what we're doing for Facebook and shipping and all that. So don't worry about it right now. I will give you an update next week. Have a good weekend.
Have a good weekend.
Bye.
guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.